Check your pants, check your seats, sipping herbal tea and fight for menstrual equity. Man, I kick cramps ass. Kick cramps ass. Kick cramps, kick cramps. Kick cramps ass. 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 You're now tuned in to the Kick Cramps Ass podcast with your host, Brittany Walker, advocating for menstrual equity, period poverty, and womb wellness. New episodes on Menstruation Mondays.
Happy Menstruation Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Kick Cramps Ass podcast, where I am your host, Brittany Walker, and we're going to tap into today's episode called Follow the Drip. It is Monday, July 17th. We are still advocating for Fibroid Awareness Month, so halfway through the month, delivering many gems and many details for you guys to help you to impact a positive menstrual journey. So today we're going to be reading chapter 9, Follow the Drip, along with some additional tips and resources. So we always like to kick off each episode with the I am power statement. I representing inspiration, A representing affirmation, and M representing manifestation. And the I am power statement for today is, I am tracking my menstrual cycle monthly in order to gauge the best techniques for myself. Ashe. So there it is. The book resource that we are giving is this season, all season, for season 1 of this podcast. We are highlighting NNG's formula to kick cramps ass, a blueprint to naturally get rid of menstrual cramps. All right, guys. So if you want access to this book, you are able to go to our website at kickcrampsass.org and order one to get a signed copy. We are on other platforms, all book platforms, Barnes & Nobles, Books A Million, Amazon, so on and so forth. But if you want a signed copy, definitely go to our website. All right, guys. So we normally have a tea of the day that we like to sip out of our wonderful Kick Cramps Ass mug, but it is hot as hell outside. If you are in Vegas, you understand we hit 116 degrees today. So I am actually sipping on some very cold kombucha this morning. So it's a little too hot for tea. I think I am going to brew some tea and put it on ice and then have it that way, because it's just entirely too hot to have a warm drink like that in the middle of the day. So let's go ahead and get this episode started. Follow the Drip, chapter 9. And then for those of you who are watching on YouTube or Spotify, you see we have our Crystal Garnett bookmark that you can also order individually, or if you order it with the book, you will get it at a discounted rate. With the Crystal Garnett, garnets are very beneficial for helping you ground your root chakra. It helps you with your blood flow, stabilizing your mood. It also helps with inflammation. And believe it or not, we are currently on our cycle right now. So why not take all these amazing healing elements and utilize them to have a better journey? I don't want to be in cramps. I don't want to be throwing up. I don't want to be bloated. I don't want to be a bitch. And pardon my French for those of you like, oh my gosh, she just cursed. Yeah, I don't want to have mood swings or anything. So I try to utilize as many holistic factors as possible to help me have a better menstrual cycle journey. So let's get into it. In 40% of women, period pain is accompanied by premenstrual symptoms such as bloating, tender breasts, swollen stomach, lack of concentration, mood swings, clumsiness, and tiredness. This comes from the Women's Health Concern in 2022. Keeping track of your cycle is beneficial during your journey to kicking cramps ass. Tracking the progression in your symptoms will allow you to forecast and plan ahead naturally. You may notice that your cycle may sync with the women you spend the most time with, your best friend, your mother, your sister, your coworker, etc. Being a lesbian, it is common to sync with your partner, especially when you are on great terms. Who wants to deal with two raging, hormonal women grumbling about PMS symptoms at the same damn time. So I'm gonna just take a pause real quick. It's funny because currently my wife and I are on our cycles together. We had got off a little bit, and it was at the point where I was starting, then she was starting, and then she would start, then I was starting. We were kind of overlapping each other, but we literally started on the same day and been like that all month, and having the same type of symptoms, the same type of things going on. So it is extremely important when you're around other women that are menstruating that you are figuring out what works best for the both of you, so you both are not going through all the drama and trauma that comes with having a painful or undesirable menstrual cycle. So back to reading. Your menstrual cycle has 4 phases, including menstruation, the follicular phase, the ovulation, and the luteal phase. Menstrual cramps and symptoms arise during the menstruation phase due to the previous cycle's eggs not being fertilized. Therefore, the uterus sheds its lining. I'm going to take a pause real quick. A lot of people will misconstrue the pain between the shedding happening and the actual cramps. When you feel the shedding happening, you literally can feel like something grabbing at your walls. You kind of feel like this slight pulsation, and you're not understanding what's going on. And that only happens in the first couple of days. But the cramps itself is like the piercing pain, the stabbing pain, the contractions, like you literally feel your muscles throbbing really, really, really hard. Those are cramps. So I think people get the two misconstrued because both of them are painful. So I have to be very honest with people. I still feel the shedding each month. I do not have the cramps, but I feel the shedding. So as soon as I feel the shedding happening, I'm like, oh, here we go. But it's not as painful as it used to be. It used to be to the point where I would mix them up and I thought it was the same thing as cramps, but I can feel it now and say, okay, we got some shedding going on. Let me go exercise. Let me go do some breathing activities. Let me go sit in the tub. Let me go drink my tea. Let me go get me a detox smoothie. I start putting things in my body or doing things to my body to help me out, managing the control of my temperature, which is an upcoming chapter we'll be talking about as well. So back to the reading. NNG recommends tracking all your uterine health outcomes as they rise. Remember, guys, NNG is the acronym for New Nation Goddess, which is one of my businesses that I have. So again, you remember I wrote the book first before I started the actual Kick Cramps Ass organization. So again, we recommend tracking your uterine health outcomes as they arise. Factors that can be tracked includes menstrual cycles, symptoms, your sexual activity, and even your moods. There are many applications that you can download to track your period. Some are free, while others offer subscriptions, such as Period Tracker, or what we call the P Tracker. That is what I actually use. I've been using it for years. And it is a white background with a pink flower on it. It probably would have been wise for me to have my phone available so I could show you the app. But it is literally, you can go into any app store, look for P Tracker. The word P is in period and then tracker, and it's literally a white background with a pink flower on it. Now you can get that for free, or you have the choice to do the monthly subscription, which gives you other features. Literally, I have been using the free feature, guys. Let's see. I started using this in 2017. We are now 2023. So this is 6 years that I've been using the free app, and it's worked perfectly fine for me. There's also Flow, FLO, without the W on the end, just FLO. There's Clue, like I have a clue, CLUE, Glow, GLOW, period tracker dash period calculator. Some people get that confused with the P tracker, what I just said that I use, but it's an actual app that's called period tracker slash period calendar, and it's a book with a white flower as the logo. So it looks like the P tracker, but it's two totally different apps. And then they also have my calendar. There's even now where you could track your symptoms in your actual phone. I don't know about Android users. I apologize for not having that knowledge, but I know with Apple and the iPhone products, the iPhone and Apple products, I apologize for mixing up my words this morning. there's an opportunity for you to track your cycle, just like how you can keep up with your physical activity, your heartbeat, your other health information, as far as like your height, your weight, issues that you might have, diagnosis that you may have. There's also an option for your cycle. So there's ways that you can actually keep up with your cycle. In these trackers, you can maintain data on the items listed below plus more. So you could put your start date, you could put your end date. It has your ovulation date. So if you're keeping up and tracking your cycle successfully, it will let you know what day you're ovulating on. So if you're wanting to have kids, or you think that you may want to have kids in the future, this is going to be beneficial for you. It's also beneficial if you don't want to have kids. You want to participate in sexual activity, but you do not want to get pregnant right away or soon. Then you want to know what days you're ovulating on. You want to make sure that you're protecting yourself on the days that you're ovulating. They also have your fertile time frame. So it will tell you what days you were fertile on. Leading up to ovulation day, it will have some fertile days. And after ovulation day, you will have a couple days that you're really fertile. So again, if you're wanting to get pregnant, if you're going through the journey of wanting to have a child, this is so beneficial for you. But it is also beneficial for you if you do not want to have kids. And that's if you don't want to have kids at all, or you just don't want to have kids right now because it's not the right time to bring a child into your life. This information is very beneficial for you. Also, when you were intimate, it gives you the opportunity to state when you were intimate and if you have protected or unprotected sex. So if you're in a heterosexual relationship or you have a heterosexual partnership, it gives you the opportunity to say, yes, I used a condom. No, I didn't use a condom. So you're also able to help keep track, again, of your ovulation, you being fertile, or your cycle in general. Um, Also, it helps you if you have a pregnancy scare. You can go back and say, hey, well, I actually had sex on this day. We had unprotected sex. This might be a reason why my cycle's late a couple of days this month or whatnot. All right. So, and then for you, like how I spoke before, being part of the LGBTQ plus community, I am a lesbian. So I don't have to keep up when I protected myself. I'm married, so I don't need to do that part, but I still keep up when I was intimate, and I actually list the time frame, or sorry, the actual activities that I did. You might think, why are you getting that detail? Because I like to keep up with what I have going on. Because again, sexual activity still has an effect on your cycle. So if you've been having sex in a certain position or a certain time each month, you might see that your cycle is the same. But maybe next month you were a little bit more active. Maybe you only had sex 5 times the month before, but the next month you had sex maybe 15 times. That can have an effect on your cycle, whether positive or negative. And based off of if you use practice hygienic, safe hygienic practices, if you drank a little more alcohol that month. Those are things that can help you determine why your cycle might be a little different the month after. Maybe you might cramp a little more. Maybe your cycle was late by 1 or 2 days. Maybe you see a symptom that arises that you haven't seen in a while. This can come from your sexual activity. So it's very important to keep up with these things. Your nutrition, you could track your nutrition. This is important because if you see, hey, I ate a little bit more fried foods last month, and fried foods can boost your estrogen levels, or it can cause more inflammation in your body. That can make more sense of why your cycle was different last month than versus this month. So things like that actually help out, guys. Medication. So if you're taking in a medication, you have to be mindful. And this is not just if you take birth control or something along those lines. Any medication, if you're taking over-the-counter medication, if you have a diagnosis and you have to take some medicine on a daily basis, these are things that you want to monitor so you can keep up with what's going on, because there might be an ingredient in that medication that can be affecting your cycle. It might cause you to bloat more. It may cause your breast to be tender. It may cause you to be infertile. So you want to be mindful of those things. All right. Your water consumption. Hydration is so important for your cycle. I have said this in past episodes, and you're going to hear me say it throughout the duration of this business being open. hydration is important. As your body releases the blood and the nutrients for your body, you need to be able to restore those things through foods and beverages. But keeping your body hydrated will help control your menstrual cycle better. Making sure that you're keeping water and fluid in your body is important, not just any form of liquid. So you just can't go get all these sugary drinks and these drinks high in caffeine and all this alcohol. You want to try to focus on water or like cold pressed juices, herbal teas, things that are going to give you healing agents that are going to be proactive for fighting against the negative symptoms that you may be experiencing at that time. Your symptoms. So again, tender breasts, your joints are hurting. I mentioned nutrition earlier, but symptoms can also be, hey, I want something sugary this month, or I really am craving something salty, but you might not normally eat salty foods. These are things that you want to keep up with and track. Moods. You want to know, is my mood changing, especially as you're going through this journey? A lot of women will say, well, I'm on my cycle. That's why I have an attitude this month. It's a funny video and content that I've reposted before about this younger woman. She's maybe 19, 20, and she's talking to the camera. She says, pretty much, if I've been a bitch, if I've been an asshole, if I've cursed you out, if I've done anything, fuck you. I'm on my cycle. Simple as that. So people, it's been very common for women to say, well, I'm on my cycle. That's why my mood is the way it is. My hormones are all over the place. You want to be able to track those things, especially as you're trying to figure out the best menstrual cycle journey for yourself, as you're trying to get a better handle and control over your hormones based off of the activities that you're participating in, the stress that you're letting go of, the foods that you're ingesting, the products that you're using that might be now no chemicals. We want to be able to keep up with, is your mood changing for the better? And if so, that's a great thing. Flow. You want to know if your blood, did you have heavier flow this month? Did you have no flow? Was it a medium flow? Did you have blood clots? Did you have amenorrhea for a few months, meaning that you did not have a presence of a cycle? So these are things that are important to track. Notes. You can write notes. There might be a day that you went off on somebody at the store because your hormones were all over the place. You might want to notate that down. It seems like, why do I want to notate that? Because it is extremely important to keep track of what you have going on as you're going through this journey. This is how you're going to be able to go back and look at notes. How was I able to build case studies for several years? I tracked everything that had to do with my cycle. I tracked everything that had to do with my womb, my health, my mood, anything that is directly correlated with my womb, my hormones, my vagina was tracked. I kept up with that information. So that's a scientist in me though. You may not be a scientist. You may not want to keep up with all that. Well, then download this app to your phone and be able to keep up with it each month. If you can keep up with social media and what everybody else got going on, if you can keep up with your group chat text messages, if you can keep up with your emails, if you can keep up with your other apps like games and things that are just for pleasure purposes, then you can keep up with your menstrual cycle because it's actually helping your health overall. You can put in your weight. Some people don't want to do this, and that's perfectly fine. I have told you guys before, I am not a fan of the BMI chart. I am not a fan of weight. When you read the book, I do talk about how my weight jumped from a size 6 to a size 16W. Yes, I mentioned the size, and I mentioned me going from 120 pounds to over 200 pounds, but that was me letting you know, because of what I was putting in my body and what I had going on, how I was able to gain a significant amount of weight, pretty much over 100 pounds, went up several sizes in a small amount of time because I was not practicing healthy practices. I was not engaging in healthy habits. So that is the reason why I put that out there. So don't ever misconstrue that I'm like, ugh, you're fat and you can't do this and you're big and you're this. It's none of that. It's all about the health. I just noticed when I started working out more, when I started eating better, when I started giving up bad habits that was contributing to my obesity and my morbid obesity and my diabetes and my bipolar 2 disorder, my dysmenorrhea, my menorrhagia, my IBS, all these horrible things, ovarian cystitis, all these things that I was dealing with after I lost weight, after I got more healthier, after I started putting better things in my body, I was able to reverse everything. So it's never about a weight thing. If you hear me talk about wanting to exercise and wanting to do things to have a better physical mobility and life longevity, I'm always going to talk about inches. I don't care about the weight, because you can lose weight all day. I dropped, like I said, 200 pounds, over 200 pounds, down to about 118, and I did not like the way that I looked. I looked very frail. I looked very, very frail. But now, when I do talk about my weight, I tell people I don't really think about it because a lot of my weight is muscle now. I built a lot of muscle. I went from 118 to almost 140. That's 30 something pounds of muscle that I have. So if you want to track your weight, you can, but I always try to tell people the BMI chart was not made for everybody. There are so many curvaceous people, especially women of color, Indian women, African women, other Asian women, as far as like Korean, Hawaiian women, things of that sort, that you naturally have curves. You naturally have a Coke bottle-esque body. You have hips, you have ass. That is natural. That is not fat. That is not, oh, you're overweight. That is natural. Don't let anybody tell you that your body is not what it's supposed to be. If that is your frame, that is your frame. But you can still put stuff in your body so you don't add unwanted weight. You don't add unwanted clogged arteries, unwanted mucus, unwanted ingredients in your body that's going to give you visceral, stubborn belly fat. There's a difference. So I just want to make that clear. In case people thinking, oh, you on that skinny bitch shit and you thinking you all that because you done lost all this weight and you used to be skinny and then you got fat and then you got skinny again. It's none of that. None of that. So I always tell my clients, my listeners, my followers, the people that are coming on to the Kick Cramps Ass journey, it's not always about the weight. It's not always about the number. Okay? It's not always about the number. But some people want to track that because in the health world, when you get a physical, you got to get your BMI. You have to get these things done. You need to just do what's best for your body and not what society is telling you have to be. You don't have to be a size 4 just because everybody else being a size 4. I remember when I actually used to model. I used to model professionally. I hated being a 2 and a 4. I used to go on cornbread diets because I'm from Texas. I'm from the South. Everybody around me is cornbread fed. Thick thighs, thick ass. That's what you have. But in that world, if you even had a certain percentage of body fat, we were getting yelled at. We were told that we need to diet. We couldn't eat for the day. It's what they were beating into our heads because that is what society tells you you have to look like. So I just want to get that clear. It's not about losing all this weight so you can conform to what society wants you to conform to. I want you to lose unhealthy weight, non-natural weight, the weight that brings disease. So just that quick note. Going back to the book, the other things that you can actually notate in your trackers are conception information. So if you do conceive, if you do get pregnant, you want to be able to keep up with that information. When did you conceive? When did you take the pregnancy test? How are things going? When did you find out the actual gender of the baby? So things that you can keep up with. Sleep. Sleep is so important. People think they have this mentality. You don't sleep. I can sleep when I die. I can go, 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 and everything's going to be okay. That is not the way that life works. Your body needs a minimum of 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single day. Your body needs time to restore. It needs time to put maintenance in itself. It needs time to think about certain things. It needs time to give you the energy that you need so you could keep going. Sleep is very important for your menstrual cycle, and people would think, oh, I'm just lazy and I'm lethargic and I want to take a nap. That little 2 or 3 hour nap can do wonders to your mood and the way that you're operating and the way that you're acting. So it's all going to be good. All right. And the last thing that you can put is your exercise. It is important to track your exercise. And if you're not tracking it in the app, you can have that mental note like, hey, I started off working out maybe 3 times a week. Now it's 6 months in and I'm doing 4 times a week. A year now I'm doing 5 times a week. And now 2 years in, I'm doing 6 times a week. Keeping up with that information is crucial to your journey. And it's really great for you to know what were the defining factors that helped you get over the pedestal or get over the hump of wanting to conquer your menstrual cycle journey. All right. I I am no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept. Angela Davis. Shout out to my auntie. Fist up. Yes. Having a database where you could track your body is craving, bloating, acne, or tender breast is essential. Monitoring your sexual activity is vital because if you have had unprotected sex, changed partners, or increase or decrease your activity, this can contribute to your menstrual cycle and your cramp pain. Also, if you are sick or emotionally drained, you can notice an influx in your cramps. Therefore, having a tracker is extremely beneficial with kicking cramps ass. Take time to follow the drip. So that wraps up chapter 9. Follow the drip. So, guys, it is important to keep up with yourself, to know what your body has going on. It's kind of hard to just say, oh, I'm going to remember what happened last cycle. And then 30 days go by. You could have had drama with your family. You could have had drama at school, drama with work. You didn't watch this new show you didn't been binging. You didn't got involved in a book that you were really into. You know, you and your besties decided to go to this festival for a week. And then you turned up and you totally forgot. So much can happen in a month's time. And most cycles are 21 to 28 days in between. So it is important to keep up with yourself and locate the best tracker for yourself. I gave you a slew and a list of trackers to go with. I will drop some of those also in the description of the bio so you can check them out yourself. I'm not going to list all of them. If you want to, you better rewind back to this portion of the episode or cap the book. But I'll list the top 3, including the one that I use. And guys, it is so beneficial for you to keep up with this because monitoring your symptoms, moods, etc., again, will aid in developing the best plan of action. If you see, like, hey, this was going on this month, but it's not happening this month, what did I do different in this month? You know, it's crazy and it sounds weird. However, I noticed that when sexual activity increases on my end, that causes my cycle to sync up with my spouse. I noticed that when I'm in love, and not saying that I fall out of love all the time, but when you're in a really good place in your relationship, my cycles be on point. Like no symptoms, no tender breasts, no bloating. She's good, I'm good, we good, our moods are good. Those are the times. I also notice when I'm heavily stressed out, if I have a month where I'm focusing on this. I have this many events going on. I'm running all around. I'm traveling. I've gone to, 4 or 5 different states in a couple of weeks. My cycle that month coming up, it's a little off. I can notice that my breast may be a little tender. My joints are a little bit more sore. I bloated a tad bit more this month. That shedding, I'm like, ooh, that shedding kind of hitting this month. So things to help you keep up with what's going on. It helps you prepare for the coming months. Also, just think about even traveling. I literally based off my traveling moving forward. Perfect example. My spouse and I my spouse planned my birthday trip. Let me know what it was recently so I could start like shopping and getting prepared for it. And she purposely planned it so we wouldn't be on our cycles. Our cycles just synced up. She ended up starting 2 days later than she normally starts. I started 4 days earlier than I normally start, but we ended up on the same day. Well, we hurry up and went to our trackers because it was like, stuff shifted. Now I'm gonna be on my cycle while I'm on my trip. And now I'm like, I have to plan accordingly. Now I know I need to be able to pack this, have this in order, have this prepared. So it can help you plan moving forward. Now it's July, birthday not to October. So I'm like, if you want to come early again, if you want to come a little later, do I need to throw in an extra 30 minutes of Pilates each day? Do I need to go run up the mountain hill so that can shift things a bit? Because if you want to move when it comes October, I'm just saying, when Scorpio season hit, I would love to be free. But if not, I'm going to embrace it. It's going to be my ritual. I'm just going to have to accept it because it's a part of life. And when you can better prepare for yourself. All right. So take 2 to 3 minutes daily just to update and your tracker and invest in yourself. It doesn't take long. I literally, after I say like my affirmations in the morning, do my prayers, give my gratitude for waking up another day, go through meditation, go through working out, reading, journaling, my normal morning routine. I will go in my tracker after I do my to-dos in my calendar and I see what I got going on for the day, switch over to that tracker before I get on social media, checking emails, doing any of that, and track what I got going on. Simple. It doesn't take long, guys. It just takes some time of you investing in yourself. Again, 2 to 3 minutes. And 2 to 3 minutes, that's if you are going in full details. I could literally go in and be done in a minute. Go in, okay, flow, not that bad. Don't really have no symptoms, but I do have a sweet tooth. So let me hit that. My mood was a little off yesterday, so let me hit that. All right, didn't have sex today. Cool. Like, simple. It doesn't take that long to do it. And once you get the hang of it, them 2 to 3 minutes, like I said, you can literally get everything done in a minute. So that is follow the drip. We want to recap for today, guys. Again, just be mindful of tracking your cycle. It is so important to keep up with what you have going on. There are so many free apps that you can use now. And if you're old school, you just don't want to use an app, get a whiteboard calendar, get a calendar that you could put on your wall that you can have a dry erase marker and a dry eraser to track what you have going on, or you can incorporate that into your daily routine. For those of you who have a whiteboard or a calendar that you keep up with your schedule day to day, you could put your symptoms in there. But the thing is, once you erase that, you don't have that sitting there. In my case, since I started using P Tracker in 2018, I can literally go back to the first day in 2018 that I started using it and keep up with everything that I've done. So it's great to have something that archives and keeps up with every cycle that you've had since you started using that app. All right, guys. So upcoming news and events. It is Fibroid Awareness Month, so we still have our Fibroid Awareness giveaway going on, which is our KCA kit. It used to be our Goddess box, but we call it the KCA kit now, that gives you the Goddess experience. It's a signed copy of our book, our bookmark. You get our Cramp elixir, which is our herbal tea. You get our Goddess bath potion, which is our Goddess bath soak. You get some menstrual disc, which is our favorite period product to use. Shout out to Soft Disc for those. You get all organic and natural feminine hygiene wipes. Shout out to Majesty for those. We also have our chrysocolla or bloodstone, depends on what crystal we have in stock, tea infuser that you can use for our Cramp elixir. We also have a menstrual blood chart to help you keep up with your blood changes color, what's going on with your cycle, so you can move accordingly. On that blood chart, if you flip it over, it's our information card, but we have a scan barcode that you can scan to keep up with resources that we have going on, but it gives you discount coupons to all of our partners, so you can get discount on like the toilet tissue that we use, the disc that we use, the crystals that we incorporate, also the laundry detergent that we use that's been beneficial for us. So take advantage of all of that information. Let me see, is there anything else that I left out of that box? I feel like I'm leaving something out because there's so many great options. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. And so for the giveaway, if you go, I'm going to have the link in the description of this episode. But also, if you follow us on Instagram, you have the option to sign up for the link. All you have to do is click a link, put your name, first and last name, your email address, and you provide consent or agree to that you're giving your email address to not only to enroll for a free ticket for the giveaway, but to be able to subscribe to our mailing list. So in the future, you can receive resources, news, events, and all of the great things that Kit Cramps has going on that will be beneficial for you in your cycle journey. All right. So that's one thing. And then the second thing we have going on is our next virtual workshop is actually on Sunday, August 13th for Self-Care Sunday. We're going to be kicking it off as we're wrapping up for the summer. Kids are going back to school. You may be going back to get your degree, but we're going to end the summer with a great self-care routine that you could practice for the remainder of the year and for your menstrual cycle journey. All right, guys, if you have any questions or concerns, feel free to comment to this episode. Be sure to like us, subscribe to us, comment to us, and then share it with somebody that you feel like can use this information. We are catering to not only the underrepresented, which are people of color, women, the LGBTQ plus community, military affiliates. So whether you're active duty, veterans, spouses, family, or individuals with disabilities, but really to anybody who menstruate. If you have a uterus and you menstruate, we are here to support you. All right, guys. So please share the wealth with people that you know that can learn or have information that would be beneficial for them. And if this information doesn't resonate with you, all we do is we recommend to go do the research for yourself. Look into the things that we are saying. If you feel like this is foreign to you or you're kind of uncomfortable with it, uncomfortability is good because it's shaking you up out of something that you're used to and you're accustomed to. And you might learn something new that could be very beneficial for you. All right. So we want to send gratitude to everybody for tuning in. We want to send a special thank you to JJ Cicero for the banging intro. All right, guys. And if there's not anything else, we want to manifest a positive, productive, and peaceful remainder of the Menstruation Monday for you. We'll be talking to you all soon, and we'll see you next week on this good old Menstruation Monday. Let's keep kicking Cramps' ass. Peace, guys.